Hey guys, it's DJ here at Top Pick Cards and Games, and in this video I'm going to talk about the Mermail deck. Mermails aren't exactly in a great position right now. The format is pretty hostile towards them. Traptrix Trap Hole is really good against the deck. It stops you from TSing and Megaloing for any value. It's also very hard to clear Traptrix Trap Holes safely anyway, since the main way this deck deals with back rows is by pitching Atlantean Marksman. But Marksman is sort of a liability sometimes when a lot of the decks playing Traptrix Trap Hole are also playing artifact cards. So while in some matchups like against Yugioh, you will be able to safely pop their armors or their back rows, against other decks you'll be flipping a coin and hoping you hit the right face downs. So it makes it a little bit harder for this deck to function. That being said, it still has a lot of cool plays going for it and a lot of really neat cards it gets to play right now, so I wanted to talk about it a little bit anyway. I definitely don't think it's a weak deck by any means, but it's definitely, in my opinion, not one of the top 2 or 3 decks. Anyways, to start off the list, we have 3 Mermail Abyss lands. If you've been playing since Mermails came out, this is just the staple. The deck always has played 3. 3 Mermail Abyss Tias. Probably actually the strongest card in the deck. Lets you put a level 7 body into play with a very respectable defensive stack currently. 2400 is actually pretty big, pretty hard to deal with. And it lets you search for more cards. If you pitch an Atlantean or a gun, you get a lot of advantage out of summoning it. So, definitely a 3 of. Then 3 Mermail Abyss Pikes. He does a lot of what Tias does on a normal summon level 4 body. Searches for different cards and kind of less cards, but he also searches out Gen X Undone, which is a huge deal. So, Pike, again, a 3 of. It's the best card you can just normal summon and discard with. Then 3 Heavy Infantries. There's normally not the 3 of in the deck, but in conjunction with another card we're playing, Dragon Ice, it effectively becomes a hand trap that pops any card on the field, which is very strong. Well, any face-up card anyway. So stops your opponent from making any sort of advances. Then we have 2 Marksmans. Like I said, Marksman can be a bit of a liability right now. The format's a little bit hostile towards blindly popping face downs. Marksman is still definitely worth playing, and you need to play this many Atlanteans to facilitate all the discard effects. But Marksman is not the 3 of right now. If your meta is almost all Yugioh or just doesn't have very many artifact players, then yeah, you could run more Marksman than Infantries. 2 Megalos, one of the workhorses of the deck as far as dealing damage goes. Lets you double attack to do a lot of damage, lets you pitch multiple Atlanteans and gun to do a lot of, get a lot of advantage rather, and searches for Abyss Spheres. Then 2 of Undyne and Controller. This is sort of the deck coming full circle back to earlier builds, really. The Gen X engine kind of faded out of the deck for a while, then became a 1-1 line, and now it's back to 2 ofs. Some lists go much deeper. I'm only playing 40 cards. A lot of modern Mermail lists are playing almost as many as 45 cards, and I played against Robbie Boyajian playing a 60-card list at YCS Philly. So you can play more cards and play more Undynes, but I wanted to keep my deck 40 cards, and I felt that this was as deep as I could go on the Undyne line. Undyne started seeing play again, in part because of how good Dragon Ice can be, and in part just because having a normal summon that tutors for all these destruction effects and Atlantean Dragoons plus title is very strong. Atlantean Dragoons is the best Atlantean. Obviously, there's a reason it's the one that's limited. Searches out a Sea Serpent from your deck, which in this deck is normally just a Megalo, but it can also search for other Atlanteans. Then we have 1 ofs of Title and Dragon Ice. Title is really just a Dragon Roller. It's the strongest cards in the game. They are the strongest cards in the game, rather. What Title does for this deck is give us a replenishable body. We can just keep summoning Title every turn, and it lets us make rank 7s for half the cost. Since Title is a free card and he's half of a Draco or half of a Gaius, that's a lot of pressure. With Controller, it lets us make free Leos, or 1-card Leos rather, which is very good. Dragon Ice is a very interesting card. When it's in your graveyard, all of your Atlanteans turn into hand traps, so you can, when your opponent special summons, pitch to bring back Dragon Ice, pitch an infantry and destroy a monster, or even clear a back row. You can just put the Dragon Ice in defense and have 2200 be too much. Like I said about Tias, 2200 is a very strong defensive stat right now. 2100 and over is very strong. So Dragon Ice can clear a lot of gaps just by being in play, and summoning him can create a lot of value by destroying cards. Another cool thing that Dragon Ice does, that I'll get to in a second, is it lets us, or we're able to search him if we remove title. Then we have 2/1 of Mermails. We have 1 Abyss Turge and 1 Gun. Turge acts kind of like salvage. It lets us recycle mostly Gun, and Gun is a monster born for our deck. Then our spells, we have 2 Soul Charges. Not much to say. Monster Born, very strong card. Lets reborn more monsters. It lets us set up really hard to deal with boards. And then I'm playing 1 Salvage. You could play more. You could play 1 over the Abyss Turge, but this is a card that can clog and brick very hard. And I wanted to play Abyss Turge anyway to facilitate making a little more rank 4 than some of the other builds. So I chose to go with 1 Salvage and then play Gold Sarcophagus. Sarc lets us search for title. When we remove title, we get a free water monster to our hand in the form of Dragon Ice. Even if we've already drawn title or Dragon Ice, Sarking for Soul Charge or Salvage or any other number of cards in our deck are very strong. We can wait 2 turns to get a Salvage and really put those 2 cards to work. Or we can wait 2 turns for a Soul Charge and really just establish an insane board. But those are all the spells I'm playing. 3 Abyss Sphere, again, it's pretty standard if you're familiar with Mermails. If you have any questions about the basics of how the deck works, let me know down in the comments. I think I've posted a Mermail video on this channel before, so I don't want to say too much that I've already said. But yeah, this card, in conjunction with Lind, lets us special summon any Mermail monster we want, or we can even just use it during our turn aggressively to put a body onto the board. Then 2 Phoenix Wing Wind Blasts. What makes this card so good right now in this deck is the ability to pitch Dragon Ice or Gen X controllers, and there's just a lot of fluff you can pitch. Plus, just as a trap, Phoenix Wing Wind Blast is and always will be one of the better trap cards in the game. Then 2 Breakthrough Skills. I find myself just playing this in almost every deck right now. Effect Negation is a necessity in general, but right now you really need to play Breakthrough against the meta decks and to deal with Abyss Dweller, especially for our deck itself. Then 1 Compulse, 1 Torrent, 1 Bottomless, and 1 Warning. I mean, you see these in almost every deck list. Compulse is a little lackluster in here. Haven't thought about what I would replace it with, really, but I've considered taking it out. Thought about playing the 3rd Wing Blast, but I was scared it might get a little bit cloggy. I thought about playing the 3rd Breakthrough, but that seemed unnecessary. I thought about playing Book of Moon, because Book of Moon's a really good card right now. A lot of wiretaps and trapstones running around. So better safe than sorry. And I considered running the 2nd Salvage, but that one I came to the conclusion it would clog too much. So those are the traps. Like I said, I'm on a 40-card list. A lot of lists do run more cards. I've considered going to 1 each of the Gen X engine, running Upstart Goblins, but at that point I'd end up putting Reckless Greeds in, and then I'll put the Abyss Hilt combo, and it'll just look like the older Mermail decks from a while ago. Then, finally, the extra deck. We have 2 Leo, Keeper of Sacred Trees. Leo is the easiest seed monster for us to make in our deck, since we have the title that can recur and the free Gen X controllers to search. Then we have 3 level 8s, Stardust Dragon, Crimson Blader, and Beals. These cards you make with Dragon Ice and Controller. They provide an insane amount of utility. Crimson Blader is debatable right now. It's not that strong in the format. You could play Scrap Dragon instead, but I would prefer to have a card that just lets me win games for free against dragons, and it also has a lot of applications in the mirror. Beals is just one of the best synchros available right now. It's very hard to kill, and Stardust Dragon lets you set up boards, obviously. Black Rose Dragon, board wipes are good. Then I'm playing Leviair, Mech Equipped Angineer, and Ghost Trick Alucard. Leviair probably shouldn't be here. I'm not sure what I want to replace it with, but I haven't actually used Leviair at all. I'm thinking probably Gungnir. Gungnir's a really strong card. That or another 4, but you don't actually make, even with the addition of Abyss Turge, which people have largely cut from Mermails right now, you don't make that many rank 4s. As for 4s, I have Laval Chain, Abyss Dweller, and Silent Honor Arc. Abyss Dweller is just a necessity in the game right now. Like, your deck, if you can make Abyss Dweller, you play Abyss Dweller. I think it's been that way for quite some time. Honor Arc, when I added Turge, I added Arc. I just wanted to have a 4 I could play and deal with a problem. And Laval Chain is, like, Laval Chain shows just how good Title is. I'm willing to waste an extra deck slot on a card that can dump Title. Yes, it has more applications than just dumping title, but like, if all this card did was like discard title from your deck, I would probably still play it. Then one of each important 7, Big Eye, Draco, and Abyss guys. Master of Blades is a pretty good card right now too. It's not insane by any means since Moral Tech doesn't target, but it doesn't hurt. If you were looking for something to replace the Levier with, you could maybe try Master of Blades. You could try a second Draco, probably just have better results. Again, another 4 might be good. Exton could be really good. Gungner could be really good. Scrapdragon could be really good. So there's plenty of options, and I just haven't decided what route I want to go with. You can even play Zenmains if you just want something to sit on. Largely, though, it's going to be irrelevant which one you pick. I don't think any one of those cards is going to have a big enough impact on your win percentage that you'll notice too much. Like, obviously, sometimes you'll make each one of them and go, man, this card was good, but if you play each of them, you'll find situations where each one is insane. Even Levier is good in some situations, but this is definitely a bad choice. I shouldn't be playing Levier. Other than that, if your meta doesn't have any decks that Crimson Blader is good against, you could easily replace him with the Scrapdragon. But the rest of the extra deck seems pretty standard. There's not really too much space to mess with it. You need to play double Leo because of Genex Controller and all the level 7s you play. It's the only synchro you can actually make for more or less free. It takes the least of your resources. Other than that, like I said, this deck is not that well positioned in the metagame right now, unfortunately. It's got a lot of cool cards, like playing Dragon Ice is awesome. Salvage is a cool card. Just a lot of cards that I like to play. A lot of good cards. But the meta is very hostile towards it right now. So while it is an awesome deck and it does have a lot of explosive plays, can have some very good game, it's not a deck that I'd feel comfortable taking to a YCS or national level event. You go to a regional with it and place well. You go to a regional with just about anything and place well. It doesn't really matter. If you're a quality player and you have a solid list, even if your deck is a bad archetype, you'll place well. So, yeah, if you're going to regionals and you really like playing Mermails, go for it. You'll do well. But I would be a little nervous if I showed up at US Nationals or a YCS if there was one coming up, or even an ARG level event with Mermails. It's not a deck that I would feel comfortable playing. Does that mean don't play it? No, that does not mean that at all. You could definitely do well with it. It's definitely not a bad deck. So it's sort of up to you. Right now I'm really comfortable playing, and you can even see this in the Mermail list. I'm playing 11 traps right now. But the format right now is very, very grindy, very much about setting back rows and playing through your opponents better than they can play through yours. And I'm very, very comfortable playing that game. It's one of the reasons I like Artifact decks so much right now. While they're overwhelmingly fair, if you play a build with something like Ignition, you can still do a lot of surprise damage and make a lot of explosive plays, even if they aren't as explosive as the plays you can make with Abyss Megalo and Abyss Tias. Like, it's still pretty explosive to just suddenly drop Volt Gaia into play or something similar. But that's all I have to say about this deck, really. There's only 1 or 2 more decks that I really consider high enough tier for me to build and discuss. I don't really want to make any just silly decks right now. Nationals is not right around the corner, but close enough that it's time for everyone to start preparing. So I don't think it's useful to me or the viewers for me to play some cheesy tier 4 deck and, you know, explain why I think it's awesome. That's not going to help any of us do better at Nationals. So right now the goal is to really help everyone improve on that goal of doing well at Nationals. So maybe some gameplay videos, I don't know, maybe just some thoughts on the format and how to handle the tier 1 decks. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys would like to see or how you would like me to go about doing videos after I finish the last couple decks that I consider tier 1 and worth considering. Obviously, if something else comes up in testing, I'll make a video, post something cool if I come up with a deck or someone brings a deck to my attention that I think could do well. But I don't want to waste anyone's time. I don't want to post low-tier decks until after US Nationals when it's time to play the game for fun again. But right now, it's about doing well at big events, and that's the mindset I think everyone should be taking. So downstairs in the comments, let me know what you guys would like to see to help yourselves prepare and anything to help myself prepare. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll have some more videos soon.